Today, I'm going to do a really fun book tag made by my friend R at This Cubed. They did the Hades book tag. They put it together because it's a fantastic video game. I say this as someone who is trash at video games, like absolute no skill. But Hades is great because you get better the more you die, which is great. So they put together this whole tag, and the game Hades, if you didn't know, is based off a lot of Greek mythology, which is fantastic. So they put together this whole list of questions. I actually even printed it out. I'm way more prepared than normal. I even put names of books next to it. I don't even know who I am anymore. So we're gonna get into it because it's a long one, and I'm going to attempt to pronounce the names of characters correctly, but I'm bad at things, so just forgive me. And here we go. Zagreus, name a book you read for escapism. So this one is, I think it has to be one of my most recent, oh my goodness, could not put this down book, and that's Illusionary by Zoraida Cordova. Man, I really loved this book, and it's tropey. It's completely tropey. It's some of my favorite tropes. I predicted in Incendiary, the first book in this duology, that I'm oh, I know what's gonna happen. Oh, I'm so pumped. Completely predictable in that regard. But I loved it. I completely loved every moment. I loved every tense, angst-induced love moment. It was great. It was so good. So stuff like that, I definitely read for escapism. A book that makes me want to keep turning pages, A+. So that's mine for this one. And more people should read the Hollow Crown duology if you have similar tastes in young adult as me, which I know is hard to parse because I don't talk about young adult a lot. But for me, it's what are my favorite young adult tropes? The Hollow Crown duology. That's me. Thanatos. Name a book that deals with death, or name a book with an unlikely hero. So this one was hard for some reason, but again, another recent read of mine, Once Stolen. This has an unlikely hero. The main character themselves is a very unlikable protagonist who has really been let down by their people. Their name is Cacao, and they're a cool, mer serpent. They're awesome. But regardless, he has a lot of issues and has separated himself from a lot of communities because of those issues. So he himself is an unlikely hero, but there's also a character in the story who I will not name for spoiler reasons. But I was very surprised by how their arc evolved and basically how they stepped up. So I feel for both of those reasons, I wanted Once Stolen for this, which is a really cool indie book. So if you're always I want to read more indie book, read this. It's pretty awesome. Achilles, name a book with a good mentor character. I was realizing as I was putting this list together that it's been a minute since I've read books with mentor characters, but I went with the Jasmine Throne, which is a stretch, but it's my channel, my rules. In the Jasmine Throne, there is this character, Bhumika. I think that's how you say her name. She's the best. And she's kind of a mentor character to Priya, our main character, sort of older sister vibes, kind of. And that counts to me. Older sister vibes, mentor vibes, same thing. And it's great. She's fantastic. I hope we get more of her. She's amazing. So that's why I put on the list. But honestly, I don't know if that would be the first book a lot of people put here, but it's what I've done. The next one is Patroclus. Name a book that deals with amnesia, or name a tragic love story. I picked The Stars Are Legion. I think that's the most recent amnesia book I've read. I don't love this book, but it definitely deals with amnesia, in spades. Our main character does not know what's happening for most of the book. They're what, where, what am I doing? And normally I really like that level of confusion, but there were other things that didn't quite work for me. Also, if this book at all interests you, just know it is the gooeyest book. I don't know if that's a good way to describe it. It's just very fleshy. There's a lot of organs. There's a lot of organic matter. Nothing's made of metal. It's very squishy. It's a very squishy world. It's weird. But big amnesia vibes. Dusa. Name a character who's a complete cinnamon roll. All right, I'm copying R because I really couldn't think of anyone better, and I just don't care. And it's Biddy from Check Please, because they're the best. They just make pie for their teammates and just want to play hockey, and they're the sweetest. Everything good must happen to Biddy. I haven't finished Check Please, and I know it's been over a year, but when I read Check Please, I could not put it down, and it made my heart so happy because Biddy is the best. It is the sweetest, sweetest cinnamon roll. Go read this. I don't even read graphic novels or webcomics. This consumed my soul. It's so good. Hypnos. Name a book you'd read as a bedtime story. This was hard because I read almost everything before bed, so I was trying to think of what would be a really good bedtime story, like maybe for like a kid or something, and I went with Once Upon an Eid, and this is a short story collection about the holiday of Eid, and I thought it'd be great because short story collection can easily read like a short story before bed, and they're like wholesome holiday stories. I think those would be amazing. So that's why I've chosen Once Upon an Eid, which if you have not read it, even if you don't read a lot of middle grade, again, I say this as someone who doesn't read a lot of middle grade, you should read it. It was so wholesome. Some stories almost made me cry, which I rarely ever cry. Like, it just evokes your childhood, like, wonder of holiday and family time and how it's never quite meets your expectations, but also is still perfect, or at least it is what it is and it's still wonderful. I don't know how I'm describing this, but you know, when you're a kid and holidays and it's messy. Holidays as a kid, they're messy, and that comes through really well here. And it's about Eid, which is a fantastic holiday I knew very little about before I read that short story collection. Chaos. Name the oldest book on your shelf. So, this book is so sad. I have read it. I don't know if this is meant to be a TBR book or not, but this is my Edith Hamilton's mythology book that doesn't really even have its cover anymore. This is my dad's copy. I love this, though. This was the book that got me into mythology. I just, loved the stories in here. I even read it, I think we had to read it for 9th grade. And I read it, years before that, so I was excited to reread it for school. It was probably one of the only required reading that I was, pumped about. So that's probably the oldest book on my shelf. Especially, just in terms of, age of book. So, yeah. All right, this is either Chiron or Charon, I don't know. But name a book with gold on the cover. I'm going to go with The Empire of Gold, the 3rd book in the Davabad trilogy, which if you have not read, you probably should read, unless you're Evie. Evie, I've already told you, don't read this series. Evie and I have this thing where I tell her if she's going to like a series or not, and I just don't want her to read things that I love and tell me they're bad. I just don't like it. But if you're not Evie, the Davabad trilogy. So it takes place, basically, I think, it starts in Cairo, but then you kind of go more east of there. You're in the desert. There are Jinn, there are Marid, there are Deva. There's all of this magic and wonder, and you follow this character, Nari, who learns stuff about her family and her place in the world. And it's about how she forms this friendship with Ali, who I could have put for Cinnamon Roll, because he's the best. He's a warrior bookworm. And you have Dara, who's this ancient person out of time. He's thousands of years out of his time, trying to figure out what traditions still exist, where he exists. You have these 3 characters, and there's a lot of family drama, and there's a lot of political drama, and there's a lot of awesome magic. I really love this trilogy, and Empire of Gold was a fantastic ending. My only complaint is there's a thing that's introduced in the 3rd book that I think should have been introduced earlier. And if you know, you know. It's just a very adorable thing that I just wish we'd had longer. Nyx. Name a dark book. So this one could be subject matter or the actual cover. Are said to use my own discretion. And I'm going with The Nickel Boys. This is very dark content, very depressing content. Yeah, it's a historical fiction heavily based off the testimonies of men who went to these academies in, I think, Florida? Could be wrong about the state. Regardless, there are these academies, these institutions for troubled youth that very much abused people. And yeah, it was bad. It was really, really bad. It's a really, really good work to read, but very heavy and dark. Yeah. So, The Nickel Boys. Hades, name a book with a family secret. So, I haven't read this book yet, but based off the synopsis, this book is perfect for this. And that's The Inheritance of Orcadia Divina by Zoraida Cordova. I really, really, really want to read this book, now. I'm taking a break. I'm reading, a sci-fi right now because I just finished Illusionary, taking a break. But from what I can tell, what little I know, there are some family secrets. It seems to be that a family member, the matriarch, passes away, and then suddenly people, have gifts, and they're like, what's happening? I think that's what it is. Which, I know it's gonna not be Charmed, but it gives me Charmed vibes, so hard. So I'm, really excited. And next up, Meg. Name a book with a complex villain. It's gonna be Kenneth from the Live Ship Traders, which, Is he a villain? I know a lot of people who don't like Kennit, so... And he's your traditional, like, villain. Like, he's a pirate in this world, and he wants to steal the ship that kind of belongs to our protagonist. Like, he is set up as a villain, but he is so much more than that. And yes, he's manipulative, but everything he wants is kind of stuff that I want. Like, I don't know. He's very complicated. I really like watching his character and learning about him and seeing the connections he makes. Like, I get why my friend doesn't like him. And I don't love him. It's not like I want him to be my friend, but he's really interesting. Tisiphone. I have no clue if I said that right. Name your favorite murder mystery. I don't read a lot of murder mysteries. I feel like I said this in a recent tag video. This is hard for me, but I'm going with The Killing Moon because my mom's been reading it recently, and I do remember it having a lot of mysterious intrigue, and I do think it starts with unexplained murders. So I'm going with it. It's The Killing Moon. I really, really love the Dreamblood duology, and my mom reading it right now makes me want to reread it so bad. But I need to finish my reread of the Broken Earth trilogy first. So here I am. But if you like political intrigue, murder intrigue, The Killing Moon, it's pretty great. Alecto. Name your favorite book with erotic scenes. I guess this is ACOMAF. I haven't read that many, so I think ACOMAF is probably the steamiest thing. Well, I guess maybe A Court of Silver Flames might be steamier, but I like ACOMAF more, so there you go. If you don't know, it's adult fantasy romance. Yeah. Tartarus. Name a book with monsters in it. My first instinct was a Witcher book, and my favorite Witcher book is The Last Wish. Lots of monsters. He's a monster hunter. So it works. Asphodel. Name a book with fire on the cover or in the title. This one I'm going with The Boy with Fire, which is an indie release that's coming out August 31st, and I don't know when this video is going live, so it might already be out. And I read this for the virtual indie book fest, and I loved it. Its tagline is like Dune meets the Poppy War, and I think for once I'm not like mad at these comparisons. Like, it's desert sci fantasy with a lot of political family drama, and like the Poppy War stuff is like lots of vengeful god energy with strong female protagonists. Like, it's real good. It's real good, and I need the sequel. Like, I need it. And I've talked to the author, she's working on it, but The Boy with Fire, guys, I was very, very obsessed with it while I was reading it. It was really good. Elysium. Name a book that deals with heroes of some sort. And there were also bonus points if this hero was a dick. I think that has something to do with R's hatred for Theseus. I'm not positive. But I'm choosing the novella Burning Roses, which literally follows two heroes who were really bad at their family lives and have lots of regrets. So they like were heroes that are good in the heroic light, but really bad with their family life. And it's like kind of talking about that. I think it focuses more on the Western hero than the Eastern hero to my liking. Like, I didn't love this novella, but I think it's perfect for this prompt. And I will point you to Judith's review because Judith really liked it and had some very eloquent things to say. Whereas I'm just it was good sort of kind of review vibe for that. Temple of Styx. Name a disgusting book. Again, this is kind of one that was left to my discretion. And so mine is based purely on like kind of the graphic images that were in my head while reading it. The book itself, I don't believe is disgusting. And this is Sorrowland. And I have a review for this. I love this book by River Solomon, but the body horror is gross. It's just gross. Nothing attractive about the body horror in this book. It's icky. It's real gross. Nectar. Name a book with characters you want to be friends with. I am picking all the people in Mistborn Era 1 and 2. Maybe Era 2 a smidge more, because I feel like Steris would get me. Steris and I could be anxious people together at social events, compare our lists. It'd be fantastic. So either one. I mean, I think that's what I love about the Mistborn books. It's just like the characters. I'm like, I love all of these people. They're just fantastic. Oster would be great. Vin, Ham, Breeze. Yeah. Elend and I could read books together. I want to be friends with all these people. So that's what we're going with. And then Centaur Heart. Name a book that gives you life. Any book by my favorite authors. I have a favorite authors video. Anything by Sanderson, Jemison, Karen Lord, Yoon-Ha Lee. They're my favorite authors for a reason. I read their books and I don't want to put them down. They make me happy. They make me be like, oh, I really love what I'm doing right now, which is like a great feeling to have. So yeah. Daedalus Hammer, I have no clue if I've said that right, but name a book with a cover that could use an upgrade. And this is the American covers for the Live Ship Traders series. The original hardback and the new mass market paperback both leave something to be desired. We could use a trade paperback version. Give it new covers. Put it on the shelf. Please. Like, I hate it. I hate it so much. And no one reads them because they all are like, I love Fitz. So then they skip to the Tawny Man series, which like, but you skipped Live Ship. You skipped the boats. And it's really good. But these are the ones that I'm like, these covers, none of them do it for me. Like at all. All right, and I need to tag some people. I'm going to tag Evie from She Was Only Evie because I just know she loves tags. So here's another one for you. I'm going to tag Grace, who has an amazing channel if you haven't checked her out. And she likes the Wheel of Time more than me. So if you want to gush about the Wheel of Time with someone, go check out Grace. And then I'll also tag Alan from the Library of Alexandria because you love Roman stuff, and I know this is Greek, but it's adjacent, and you like video games. And I don't know if you've played Hades, but I'm going to tag Alan, and that feels like a good list of people. And if you want to just leave an emoji, leave a dog emoji for Cerberus, because Cerberus is the best. If you didn't know, you get to pet Cerberus in the game. Like, so cute. And like if you liked it, subscribe if you want to, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.